Diamond P Sports presents the fastest sport on wheels, championship drag racing.
The 10th annual NHRA Gatornationals, Gainesville Raceway in Gainesville, Florida. The richest, most prestigious drag racing event in the entire southeastern United States. A record-shattering crowd on hand for qualifying watched as Shirley Muldowney in the far lane, the former world champion, the only woman driving in Top Fuel Eliminator, established a new track record and the #1 this run. Shirley Muldowney qualified with a 5.89-second elapsed time. That to go from a standing start to the finish line, and that racing's all about a quarter-of-a-mile sprint acceleration race. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave McClelland, and the weather has been perfect for 3 days of qualifying. Overnight, though, the rains turned cold. The NHRA crew has been on the track workly to get this race. Steve Evans is there right now.
David, boy, that is hot. That is a jet aircraft engine being used to help dry out this soggy quarter mile. After 3 beautiful, warm days of record-breaking qualifying, an inch of rain fell last night and just soaked this quarter mile. How is that going to affect track conditions? We asked some top drivers.
It's going to make it a different ball game today, Steve. Maybe the rain washing the racetrack down makes it better. Who knows? But the temperature, the fuel cars don't like cold weather.
Well, I look for the track to be better today, really, for us than yesterday. The rain certainly isn't going to hurt it any, and the cooler air is going to keep the rubber from balling up so bad, so I think it's going to be better.
Well, it's a little tough to tell at the time, but the track, I'm sure, is in excellent shape. If they say let's run, I'm sure it's ready.
Well, that's how the racers see it, Dave, and in just a few minutes, they'll have a dry racetrack on which to try out their theories.
Thank you, Steve. We saw a 5.89 elapsed time in qualifying. Will the track be that good in eliminations? We'll find out in a moment. The worries about the weather are gone as sun is shining on a record-shattering crowd at Gainesville Raceway for this 10th annual Gatornationals. We're about ready to go into the start of the second round of Top Fuel racing. Here are some of the competitors. This is Clayton Harris from Moulton, Alabama. The reigning world champion, Kelly Brown, driving a new mount this year rather than the Brissett and Drake car that took him to the runner-up spot last year. Shirley Muldowney, she expressed her fears about track conditions. She'll find out in just a moment. Here's the man that has won this event 3 times, the defending champion, the favorite of all Floridians from Seffner, Florida, Big Daddy Don Garlits. The hottest new driver on the circuit today, been driving about 3 years, a former crew chief from Bremerton, Washington, Rob Bruins. Here, experiencing one of his better days, is the driver for Jim Naramore. This is Bill Pryor from Illinois. The driver of the good, the bad, and the ugly. One of the quickest cars in the country, Dave Uehara. From the high country of Denver, Colorado, comes the team of Frazier and Abbott. This is the driver, John Abbott. This is the second round of eliminations. 16 cars started racing here, and what a matchup. Rob Bruins against Big Daddy Don Garlits. In the first round, Bruins recorded the lowest elapsed time of that round at 5.93 seconds, so the track conditions seem to be about equal to the qualifying sessions. The Christmas tree being displayed so you can watch it just as the drivers see it. The Christmas tree, the electronic starting device, does the same every time an electronic piece of equipment to leave on the green light. And there's the starting. Garland smokes the tire off, and Rob Bruins wins a big race. Time 6.07 seconds, but 240 miles. Problems for Big Daddy Don. As we watch an instant replay, you see just a little poke off, indicating Garlits losing and the defending out of competition at this 10th annual Gatornationals. Driving the Hill Gang car. Kelly last year finished it, but he carries the big #1, signifying he is the world champion. Below qualifier, Shirley Muldowney. Shirley made it through the first very well with a 6:24 elapsed time, but she still has some concerns about the track as well. She should, and look at Brown drop car. So about a 1-car length lead over Shirley Muldowney at the finish line. Kelly Brown, as we see in the instant replay, drives this car as it begins to go out of control at this point, losing traction. Both cars smoking the tires violently, but Kelly Brown regains control, keeps it in the center of his lane as he heads for the finish line and defeats Shirley Muldowney, the low qualifier. And here's one Gator National spectator just as amazed as we are at the driving job of Kelly Brown in defeating Shirley Muldowney. Well, the sun's shining, the temperature just a bit cool. You can see all the coats and jackets around the sprawling facility here at Gainesville Raceway, but the action on the racetrack is fast and furious. The next pair now ready to go in the second round. Johnny Abbott driving the Frazier and Abbott Jet Special out of Denver, Colorado against the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's Dave Yahara doing the driving. Abbott running in the high country of Colorado, used to that high atmosphere, the thin air as they call it, but coming down here to Gainesville, Florida, where you're just a few feet above sea level, he's been performing right along with the best of them. Here is the staging and pre-staging procedure. You see in the far lane, Dave Yahara coming into the light beam, stretched across the starting line. He's now lit the stage light. Johnny Abbott coming forward, he's ready. The starter throws the switch and the light goes green. No smoke from the tires, good traction by both cars, and a close race in the finish. Johnny Abbott, the winner, at 6.28 seconds. His speed, 232 miles an hour. But Dave Yahara, a little bit quicker at a 6:27. His speed, 243 miles an hour. At the finish line, our slow motion stop action will show you how close it was. And there it is, just a couple of feet separating Johnny Abbott from Dave Yahara. Yahara disappointed, of course, but he'll be back another day. Here's Steve.
Finishing number 5 in the world last year, Johnny Abbott of Denver, Colorado picks up some points that could improve that number on your car next season.
So, Steve. I really hope so.
Did you ever see Yahara on your way down the course?
Never. Didn't see him at all. I knew he was there, though. I could feel him. When the car's right next to you, you can feel him thunder, and I knew he was right there.
Bill Pryor from East Peoria, Illinois, driving for Jim Naramore, doing a long, smoky burnout. Right alongside of him, he hails from Moulton, Alabama, is Clayton Harris. Both cars bouncing to a stop after the burnout. Let's go back and take a look in slow motion. You see the tires. They're about 20 inches wide, sitting at rest. As Bill Pryor hits the accelerator pedal and brings that 2,000 horsepower engine up to full power, the tires start to spin. They grow taller by centrifugal force and actually burn the rubber, and that gets them very hot to provide the best traction. The crew, all important to these drivers, as it is necessary or best to back into your own tracks, so you are leaving rubber against rubber as you attempt to accelerate off that starting line. And car owner Jim Naramore doing the job of backing his driver Bill Pryor right into his own tracks. The Southern Flyer, that's Clayton Harris, former Summer Nationals champion. Clayton, one of the best liked of the good old boys from the Deep South, but he's got his hands full against Bill Pryor. Side by side in the middle of the course, and it is Bill Pryor by about a car length. 6.19 seconds at 240 miles an hour. Clayton Harris, a valiant effort, 6.32 seconds. His elapsed time, his speed 232. Here we see again as both cars in the middle of the course, side by side, but then the horsepower beginning to tell as Bill Pryor moves away and takes the win. Pryor getting out of his car, and one of the first things every one of these drivers do is go back and look at the engine to see if everything is A-OK. Whatever Bill Pryor finds, he'll be doing his work in the pits, the focal point of activity in any championship drag race. Drag racing is unique, and it allows the spectators access to the pit area. Steve is there right now.
There's race cars running right now, yet thousands of people are down here in the pit area. Why do you think that is?
This is where all the excitement is. This is where it's happening. I'd rather be here, really, than up there at the line, because you see what really goes on before the race actually begins. You know, this here is the heart of it. You know, I really like it back here better. That's where I take all my pictures, back here. Seeing them change these engines as fast as they do, I can't believe how fast they can get these engines in and out.
They like to walk around and watch all the people, see what's going on.
Do you go around and talk to the drivers?
Sometimes.
Are they nice to you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking for my son. He's been out here ever since the race started. He won't leave the pit. He wants to be a mechanic when he grows up, so he thinks this is the place to go instead of watch him race, and I never can find him.
Why do you think people come into the pits and spend hours and hours down here?
Probably because there's so many pretty cars and interesting looking cars. You know, it's not something you see every day.
Well, they like to look at the driver or the mechanics working on the cars and what they look up like up close. I think that's the main thing, is what it looks like up close, because they can only see it from the line and it doesn't look, I mean, it's just another car to them. But up close and seeing them how they work and how fast they work, how they tear a car apart and put it back together in a couple of hours, it's just amazing.
In the pits and on the track, we'll be back with more Gator Nationals action in just a moment. One of the all-time crowd favorites in all of drag racing is funny cars. The 2,000 horsepower fiberglass-bodied creations that are a sight to see. And we're in the second round of racing. Here are some of the drivers. From Waco, Texas, Billy Meyer. Gordy Bonin, winner of this event back in 1977 and the only Canadian ever to win a funny car title in NHRA competition. Ron Colson, the driver of Roland Leong's Hawaiian. This is Tom Hoover, the man that won the Winter Nationals and is currently the points leader in the World Championship Series points chase. Tom McEwen, the winner of the U.S. Nationals last year with the biggest upset of his career when he beat his longtime competitor, Don Prudhomme, the man that has won 4 straight World Championship titles. Raymond Beadle, the Blue Max, #2 qualifier here at the Gator Nationals. Going through a tough season last year, but ending it by winning the World Finals out in Ontario, California, and coming to the starting line, the famed Blue Max of Raymond Beadle from Dallas, Texas. Alongside of Beadle, the brand new car of Roland Leong, the bright green Corvette-bodied creation, Ron Colson at the wheel. This is the Hawaiian. Leaving the line together, but then lots of smoke and both cars out of control. And it's close at the finish line as Raymond Beadle tops Ron Colson, a 6.69 second elapsed time. Far cry from Beadle's qualifying 6:18. But here in slow motion, you see why. The smoking tires indicating loss of traction. Both drivers keeping their cars under control. Beadle recovering just a little bit quicker. Let's go to the finish line and Steve Evans.
One of the most popular funny cars with the fans coast to coast is the Blue Max, and Raymond Beadle, all of the people that root for you are sure happy to see you back in the low teens, the #2 qualifier, and that was the best funny car race of the day.
Yeah, we both smoked the tires. I saw him, and we had a little driving job there. I think both of them have to drive. We recovered better, so.
You think the track's going to come around, or you're going to have to adapt to it?
I think we're going to have to adapt. It's a little tricky. I was thinking it's a little better, but we hopped her up a little bit, and she wouldn't take it, so I guess we're going to take a little more back out of it.
Here's the man that has won 4 straight World Championship titles, a feat unheard of in all of sports, not just motorsports, but to be this consistent in drag racing in the most difficult car of all to drive, the front-engine funny car. Don Prudhomme's the man that's done it. Billy Meyer alongside of him won 2 national events in the past couple of years. Here you see the Christmas tree as the drivers look at it. As they approach the starting line, they light the staging bulbs. That indicates to the starter they're both ready to go. Let's watch for the 1 amber light, then green, and they're off. No tire smoke in this race. And Don Prudhomme wins it, 6.31 seconds. His speed 236 miles an hour, a close race. Billy Meyer ran a 6:37, just 0.06 of a second slower. Both cars running 236 miles an hour. Here you see in the instant replay, Prudhomme wins it by about 2 car lengths.
Don Prudhomme, you go into the semifinals. You don't seem pleased with your ET, though.
No, it's just, we're just getting by.
I understand what you mean. I don't want my arm cut off as the body comes down, so we'll let the snake go.
And Don Prudhomme heads back to the pits with his Plymouth Arrow-bodied funny car, the 4-time world champion. Not too happy with the track conditions. You heard Raymond Beadle say he's going to have to adapt to it, and so is Prudhomme as he moves to the semifinals. Here's the man that won the national championship by defeating Don Prudhomme in the finals at the U.S. Nationals, Tom the Mongoose McEwen. One of the strongest proponents of the Corvette body on a funny car. McEwen made it work before anyone else was very successful with it. Then a lot of people came along. Here's one of the best. This is Tom Hoover, the winner of the Winter Nationals and the current leader in the World Championship Series points chase in Funny Car Eliminator. Both cars smoking the tires. Hoover recovering very quickly. McEwen looks like he blew a motor. And Tom Hoover won the race, 6.56 seconds at 230 miles an hour. But that puff of smoke just before he entered the speed traps out of Tom McEwen's car, generally indicative of something letting go. We're watching the instant replay as we see Hoover recovering very quickly as his tires lost traction right off the start. McEwen and Hoover side by side in the middle of the course. And let's see, right there, and sure enough, you can see the change of color as now you see the oil starting to pour out of the engine, and Tom Hoover just barely creeping by, and that's how close it was. Tom Hoover defeating Tom McEwen, the crew wiping the oil down off of McEwen's car. He's not happy. Nobody likes to lose, particularly losing a $15,000 engine in the process. This is Gordy Bonin to race Al Segrini, but where is Segrini? We've had word there's been some problems. Let's go back into the pits with Steve Evans and find out what they are.
As Gordy Bonin heats up his tires, preparing to make a single run here in the second round of Funny Car, in the pit area, frustrated, disappointed, Al Segrini, his car already loaded into the trailer. That must be painful to hear Bonin up there knowing you should be alongside him.
Yeah, it sure is, because we had everything working our way the first round. We figured the track would be a little slippery as it was. We had the clutch dialed in it, slid out there and ran like we expected it to. So we had the clutch working and everything, and the motor just let us down. We had rod failure on the other end. So it was a big disappointment of us seeing it.
No spare engine?
Well, we had hurt one qualifying also, so this was down to the second motor, and we had plenty of parts other than the block, so we couldn't do anything without a block.
Well, our condolences. You did a great job here.
Thank you very much, Steve.
From New York, Al Segrini.
A tough break for Al Segrini, but a big advantage for Gordy Bonin as he has no competition. He can just sort of take it easy. He's not taking it too easy, though. He tested the starting line, found it lacking, but still ran 6.92 seconds, 221 miles an hour. The uniquely American sport of drag racing is a visual spectacle. The participant and his family face a wide range of emotions, from drama to danger, humor to heartbreak, and what seems to be sometimes the never-ending wait. The 10th annual Gator Nationals. This is Gainesville Raceway in Gainesville, Florida. I'm Dave McClelland, and along with Steve Evans, we're bringing you all the excitement of this National Hot Rod Association Championship drag racing event. A record crowd jamming into this raceway today to view the excitement that is the Gator Nationals, which kicks off the 1979 Diamond P Sports Drag Racing Series. Other races we'll be bringing you throughout the year include the Cajun Nationals from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the Summer Nationals from Englishtown, New Jersey, and Diamond P Sports winds up its television series with the 25th running of the U.S. Nationals. That's right, the granddaddy of them all, celebrating its 25th birthday, the U.S. Nationals from Indianapolis Raceway Park. You be sure to join us throughout 1979. But the action right now is in Gainesville Raceway. On the starting line, the Pro Stocks, those factory hot rods. Here's Wally Booth, the American Motors Concorde. Matched up with Booth is the Reno, Nevada team of the Ewell brothers and Ken Van Wert. Mark Ewell doing the driving. It's American Motors against Chevrolet in this first race of the second round of Pro Stock Eliminator. Staging both cars into the staging beams, and a great lead by Mark Ewell. With a big lead at the middle of the course, he extends it further as apparently Wally Booth has some problems. It's Mark Ewell there first, 8.74 seconds. His speed 153 miles an hour. Here in instant replay you saw Wally Booth having problems. Mark Ewell taking the win. Don Campanello coming out of the smoke left from the burning tires after his burnout. He's racing Jim Canet in a Plymouth Volare. Canet's car powered by the Hemi engine. Campanello using a small block Chevrolet. The start, all important in drag racing. Both drivers concentrating on the Christmas tree. And a bit of a hole shot for Jim Canet. That means he got a little bit of advantage off the starting line over Don Campanello. But the finish line is where it matters. And Campanello got there first, 8.68 seconds. His speed, 156 miles an hour. As the instant replay shows about a 1 car length advantage for Campanello. Ronnie Sox in the near lane. Larry Lombardo driving for Bill Jenkins in the far lane. A Dodge Omni-bodied car. Just eking out a win was Ronnie Sox defeating Larry Lombardo. And at the finish line, 1/100th of a second separated the two cars, less than 3 feet. The world champion Bob Clinton's in the near lane in his Plymouth Arrow, and a red lighting Joe Satmary puts his Chevrolet Camaro out of competition. The win automatically going to Clinton. He still drives around Satmary. His elapsed time, 8.55 seconds and 149 miles an hour. We've seen the four-wheel Pro Stocks. Let's take a look at their two-wheel counterparts, the Pro Stock motorcycles. Modifications to a factory bike, and they fly. This is Bob Carpenter, the low qualifier of the motorcycle field at the Gator Nationals. His competition in this final round is Wayne Buckler. Buckler hailing from North Fort Myers, Florida. A bit of a surprise to get into the final, as Carpenter had been dominating the action through the early rounds of racing. Motorcycles doing the burnouts just like their Pro Stock counterparts with the four wheels. Difficulty here is keeping the bike upright as you approach the staging beams. Keeping the bike balanced, your hands on the throttle and the clutch levers. Concentrate on that Christmas tree. One amber light, then green. Buckler and Carpenter out side by side. In the near lane is Wayne Buckler, and he appears to be pulling a bit of a lead over the low qualifier, and Wayne Buckler wins it 9.51 seconds at 145 miles an hour on two wheels in the Pro Stock bike final. There were 5 categories of sportsman racing competing during the 4 days of this Gator Nationals, and as they ran their finals, the sun was slowly setting. In Pro Comp Eliminator, Joe Amato of Old Forge, Pennsylvania, took home some $9,000 as he debuted a new car and won his first ever NHRA national title. Competition Eliminator, 33-year-old John Lingenfelter winning his 9th national title. In modified eliminator, Cotton Perry in the far lane won as Billy Mansell red-lighted away his chance for the victory. Cotton Perry winning another national event title. And in Super Stock Eliminator from Columbus, Ohio, Bob Marshall won his first ever major event title, winning in the process some $8,500. Stock Eliminator in the near lane, Kenneth Coombs. Far lane, Jerry Dover Sr. red-lighting away his chance for the win. There they are, the 5 winners in the Sportsman Eliminator categories at this Gator Nationals. If you think this vehicle looks and sounds a little bit different than the cars we've been showing you, you're right. With fire coming from the tailpipe, the sound rising to a deafening whine, a huge cloud of smoke beginning to build behind this vehicle. You say, what is it? Well, it's Roger Gustin's jet car. With afterburner ablaze, Roger Gustin powers his way through the quarter mile with a jet engine, the parachute pulling the wheels off the ground from 253 miles an hour. Here's Steve with another kind of car.
253 miles an hour. It's never easy for the Fram Corporation Selection Committee to pick the best engineered car. But when they saw this beautiful jewel-like Opel GT, their search was over here at the Gator Nationals. It was built by the Wayne County Speed Shop Mike Sullivan in Fairfield, Illinois, and it's just absolutely incredible. It's ultra-light, yet as strong as any car in the racetrack. For maintenance, it just comes apart like a snap-together model. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the Fram Corporation will award its Best Engineered Car Trophy to this particular entry.
The semi-final round of racing in Pro Stock Eliminator, the factory hot rods. This is the Dodge Omni of Sox and Martin. Ronnie Sox at the wheel. The car powered by a small block Dodge engine. His competition is Don Campanello. This is a Chevrolet Monza, and also using a small block engine, this time of Chevrolet version. High RPM as they both leave the line together. Stay together through the middle of the course. And Ronnie Sox pulls it out at the finish line, 8.65 seconds. His speed, 155 miles an hour. The instant replay shows Sox with the lead as he enters the speed trap and about a half a car length lead at the finish line. The man that won the Winter Nationals with this, his brand new car, the Plymouth Arrow, is Bob Glidden. And having his work cut out for him is Mark Ewell from Reno, Nevada. Finishing number 8 in the world last year. No match for Bob Glidden last season. How will he do this year? Glidden carrying the big number 1 of the reigning world champion. Quite a story about Glidden. He retired a Ford that he campaigned last season that was never defeated. Came out with a brand new car, brand new combination, and won his first race. And he is in the finals of this Gator Nationals Championship. 8.48 seconds, his speed 150 miles an hour.
Do you know what the national record is?
It is 8:49 as far as I know.
Well, it's not now. It's 8:48. That's what you just run, a brand new NHRA national record for Pro Stock.
That's great. We've been having a lot of trouble here getting hooked up to the track, and that's really great.
You had the shootout earlier. You sandbagging a little bit, maybe not showing everything you have?
No, not really, no. I mean, the shoot came out early, but it didn't affect the ET of the run any. I was definitely trying to get lane choice by low ET. No, that did not affect the run in any way.
Funny car semifinals as the horsepower increases. The questions are going to be raised. How is this track? It worked well for Bob Glidden as he established a new national record at 8.48 seconds for the Plymouth Arrow. But there's a lot of difference between a factory hot rod, the Pro Stock, and these 2,000 horsepower funny cars. In the near lane, Raymond Beadle driving the Blue Mac. He's up against Gordy Bonin from Delta, British Columbia, Canada. Burnout's completed, both cars staged. Bonin smoking the tires, and something goes wrong with Beadle's car, and it's Bonin pulling out a victory. 6.93 seconds at 223 miles an hour. The instant replay shows us Bonin smoking the tires. Beadle apparently off to a good start. But what happens? Something goes away. You saw the motor go up by the exhaust coming out of the side of the car, and Bonin takes the win. Let's go to Steve at the finish line.
So you smoked the tires, and do you have any idea what happened to Raymond?
I don't know. I was about ready to get out of it, and then I saw him. Of course, you know me. I never get out of it, so.
You won this race a couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. We plan on trying her again.
The man that has won 4 World Championship titles in a row, Don the Snake Prudhomme, has chosen the left lane. We just saw Gordy Bonin smoke the tires in front of him, but this is the lane where he ran 6.31 seconds, one of the better elapsed times of eliminations in the previous round. He's facing the man that is currently leading the World Championship points chase, Tom Hoover in the Showtime Corvette. And this time it's Prudhomme smoking the tires. Hoover having some engine problems, but it doesn't matter. He got there first, and he's in the finals for the second major event in a row, 6.50 seconds. His speed, 226 miles an hour. Don Prudhomme taking an early turnoff, and a very disappointed man, as Prudhomme had hoped to get back into the winner's circle at this Gatornationals championship. The instant replay shows instant smoke off of the tires of Don Prudhomme's Plymouth Aero-bodied funny car. And that is enough to cost you a race in championship drag racing. Hoover with some engine problems. You can see the exhaust as it comes out the side of the car, indicating that there's something going wrong with his car. Let's go again to Steve Evans.
Disappointed Don Prudhomme, who hates to see funny cars go into the final rounds with 650s and 690s. When you qualified low at 615, it appeared you were beaten by the pavement.
Yeah, apparently so. The track seemed to go away today, actually for everybody, and we're just caught up in the situation.
If you had it to do over again, would you still take the left-hand lane?
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I believe Raymond Beadle smoked tires in the right-hand lane, so it's just the car was too stout at the time, and it's a difficult thing to contend with because of the air changes. It gets colder. It's very hard.
The team of Frazier and Abbott from Denver, Colorado. This is the semifinals of Top Fuel Racing. Johnny Abbott, the driver. His competition is Bill Pryor, the team of Naramore and Pryor. As we watch the Christmas tree, both cars inching into the staging beams. You're seeing the starting line lights, just the driver sees it, sitting inside that long, slender missile that runs over 245 miles an hour. A lot of concentration needed here as the start is all important. Pryor off to the lead as Abbott smoking the tires. Pryor uses up a good bit of his lane, but he stays ahead and moves into the finals. Bill Pryor, 6.56 seconds. His speed only 215 miles an hour. Abbott, a valiant effort after smoking the tires, was 669 at 225. Once again, let's go to Steve.
Very happy, Bill Pryor. This means your first ever final round appearance at an NHRA national event.
That's right, Steve. I'm very happy to be here, too.
You're not pleased with the performance, I don't think, though. Looks like you had a lot of problems.
No, I'm not pleased with that at all. I mean, the thing shook really bad when it left the starting line. My only savior was him smoking the tires and having problems, too.
Okay, in just a second here, we're going to determine who races you in the final round of the Gatornationals. They're on the line. David.
Steve, obviously that left-hand lane creating problems for whoever happens to be there. And this time it is the reigning world champion, Kelly Brown. He is racing Rob Bruins. Bruins has recorded with Gaines Markley's car the lowest elapsed time of eliminations in the first round at 5.93 seconds. Kelly Brown never to be counted out, driving for the team of Diaz and Schultz, the over-the-hill gang, switching cars for this 79 season. And Bruins breaks something off the starting line. Kelly Brown, in another masterful driving job, keeps it between the guardrail and the center line to take the win. Let's watch again. You see instant smoke coming off the car. The tires of Kelly Brown. Rob Bruins already coming to a stop as he leaves the starting line and something breaks.
Bruins lost something up on the starting line.
I don't know what to say. We just smoked the tires again. He wasn't there. So we'll fix her up and, you know, get in this last deal. I know Robbie and I are very close friends, and we have a little contest going because we're the only two guys that have ever been in the final round 4 times in a row of Top Fuel, and we fixed him this time.
Now I can give you some good news. Your elapsed time is quicker than Bill Pryor, so you'll have lane choice. Do you think that's important at this point?
I assume that it is because we really smoked the tires that time. I drove about 3 miles on that run, so it. I don't know what we have to do, but we'll make our decision when we get up there. We'll watch funny cars very closely.
World champion Kelly Brown on his way to his 2nd consecutive final round berth at this race.
Yeah, I hope so.
We'll be back with the finals from the Gatornationals, Gainesville Raceway in Gainesville, Florida, in just a moment. A lot of work going on in the Narramore and Pryor pit area. The team replacing all 8 pistons in the aluminum racing engine. The engine's designed for easy maintenance, and they're utilizing every bit of that design work as 8 pistons replaced going into the finals here at the Gatornationals. In the Tom Hoover pit area, some work going on there to the engine. Steve Evans is with Tom Hoover, and let's find out what's going on.
They're disassembling the entire motor, it looks like. How's it look?
It looks fine. We changed 1 piston right now, and they're putting it back together, and I don't want to make too much power because this racetrack, that's not the way it is. So I'll hold it down, and hopefully I can do the same thing again.
You have lane choice. I assume you'll take the right-hand lane again, providing nothing happens between now and then.
Yes, that's my game plan right now.
Gordy Bonin, what do you look for him to do? Try to soft pedal it, hope you make a mistake?
Well, we've both been here before. He's been there at different races, but you never know until it's over. I respect them all.
Okay, from Minnesota, Tom Hoover going into the final round and the World Championship points leader.
And this is the finals of Pro Stock Eliminator, and this is the #1 car, Bob Glidden from Whiteland, Indiana. Glidden's competition, the team of Sox and Martin, a name practically synonymous with full-bodied stock car type drag racing. Sox and Martin coming out of the super stock ranks a few years ago. At one point in his career back in 1971, Ronnie Sox won 6 of 8 national events. He's against the best in the world right now, and he tried a whole shot and it failed as he left a red light on the starting line. Your winner for the 7th straight national event, Bob Glidden, 8.53 seconds, his speed 147 miles an hour, and back on the starting line. That tells the whole story. Here in instant replay, you see just how early Ronnie Sox left the starting line.
With the big #1 on his window signifying a world championship last year, Bob Glidden proves that, yes, indeed, the rest of the pro stockers were right. They were racing for 2nd place. Ronnie Sox took a gamble on the line. It was his only alternative. He red lights, and here comes Bob Glidden. You've got them shaking their heads constantly. He waves to Ronnie Sox as he goes by. Ronnie gives him a big grin and a wave back. So it's an all Chrysler Corporation final, and that hasn't happened since like 1972.
Can I get him in here?
If he gets over here in a hurry, yeah, we got funny cars coming down.
Yes, sir.
You know, that's your 22nd NHRA national win.
Each win is a great win. This has been a great race for me. Come on over here.
2 good friends and kind of on the same team, really, as far as the factory's concerned.
We're on the same team until it comes on the racetrack, Doc, and we're not on the same team anymore.
How do you go from
wants to win as bad as I do?
Well, congratulations to both of you. And Ronnie Sox, you've won a lot of national event wins in the past, and you're going to have trouble with this guy before the season's over.
I'm afraid you're right.
Okay, Bob Glidden, still #1.
Thank you, Steve. And here come the funny cars, Tom Hoover and the Showtime Corvette. For the 2nd race in a row, he is in the finals, and the gathering twilight, you can see now the flames coming out of the exhaust pipe. These funny cars burning nitromethane for fuel, making approximately 2,000 horsepower. Hoover matched up against Gordy Bonin, the Canadian that won this race a couple of years ago. And at this point, it is anybody's race. Who knows what the racetrack is going to do? Both drivers have expressed their concern over it. Let's watch and see what happens as they approach the starting line for the finals in Funny Car Eliminator. And it is Bonin up in smoke. Hoover right with him. They're still side by side. And a tremendous race at the finish line. Gordy Bonin wins the Gatornationals, 6.93 seconds. The crew just jubilant over the victory by Gordy Bonin and Tom Hoover with nothing to be ashamed of. As you can see, they leave the starting line. Bonin with a little bit of a hole shot. Hoover, as he said, tried to keep it down on power. And they're side by side going into the finish line speed trap.
When it's your day, it's your day. I guess that's the story. Gordy Bonin, you had a tremendous hole shot. You won with a slower elapsed time.
Oh, darn, huh?
Your crew chief, Jerry Verhill, can no longer accuse you of being late, right? You just gave it all back. How's it feel?
Oh, well, it wasn't really my day. I guess it turned out to be my day, but God, I mean, we've done everything wrong, like I told you, and it's still working. So.
You split a motor earlier. That was expensive.
Yeah, first round for no apparent reason. I mean, they shut us off because the lights were screwed up, and then we ran it again. And maybe it was just too hot, and it smoked the bearings out the lights or whatever. But boy, nice to be here.
So the prize money goes back to Canada.
Back to Edmonton, Vancouver, and Seattle.
Gordy Bonin, some $11,000 richer after winning the Gatornationals funny car title. Here's the final for Top Fuel, the world champion Kelly Brown in the near lane. And this also anybody's race. Both drivers concerned about track conditions, trying to back out some of the horsepower as Bill Pryor got it hitting on all 8 of those brand new pistons coming to the starting line for the Top Fuel final. Leaving the line together, but it is Kelly Brown by a wide margin at the finish line. A fine time under the conditions, 6.26 seconds. His speed, 244 miles an hour. As we watch the instant replay, both cars smoke the tires. Kelly Brown backpedals, gets the traction back, and then stands on it for a 244-mile-an-hour charge.
Kelly Brown and Bill Pryor give each other a hug. Kelly Brown the winner. Lane choice was very important, I think, Kelly.
Lane choice was very good, but as I said before, my man Bill Schultz made the right decisions with clutch and tire and smoked him, but we're here, and we made up for final round loss last year.
You know, no one has ever been able to say I am the 2-time NHRA Top Fuel World Champion, at least not 2 in a row.
Well, the season's quite a long one, and it's only the second race. We feel very good about it, and we'll give it everything we have this year, I'll tell you.
It should give you the points lead, wouldn't it?
I really don't know. I haven't had a time today to even think about it. You know, we'll when it's all over with is the only one that wins, so that's what I'll think about.
You can ride home in a brand new Suzuki. That goes along with the Top Fuel Championship. You guys are going to have a fight over that.
I'm very happy about that. You believe me, I need a new motorcycle.
Okay, Kelly Brown, world champion.
And these are your Gatornationals champions, Kelly Brown in Top Fuel, Gordy Bonin in Funny Car, and Bob Glidden in Pro Stock. Record-breaking attendance and record-shattering performances, the hallmarks of the Gatornationals. Steve, what did you think of the race?
Dave, we've talked a lot today about track conditions. Well, maybe they weren't the greatest, okay? But it's nice once in a while to see a drag race that's not based simply on raw horsepower. It was a challenge to the crews to come up with the right clutch, the right tire. A challenge to the drivers to not unleash too much horsepower, to be very, very delicate, and most of all, to leave on time. In most cases, it was the better driver who won our final rounds. I think if you ask any one of the tens of thousands of people that were here today, they'll tell you that Gators were great.